I think it's kind of cool and scary at the same time, because I think that there's, I think it's so interesting because after being in this business for so long, now you're seeing some really interesting things happening where you never saw before. Like there's a group in New York City called Workhouse, which is a Deborah, you probably know Deborah, right? She took this really horrible space that was like a B minus building and converted it to all different types of space, but it looks, it has the bars, the reception area when you first walk in. It has you know, a lot of concrete. It looks very like industrial warehouse-ish. And then you have, you know, like the Soho House concept with New House, which is another concept here in New York City. You're going to find that there's going to be, and these are all hotel people that have gotten involved with that. There's, you're going to find space. I think you're going to, like, I can't remember who it was that gave the presentation with all the different types of work. Karen, right, it was Karen. I love that because it just showed that anything is possible. And I think we're going to find more and more of that. And I think that the days of the cookie cutter kind of look and feel, and even in, you know, it's, there's going to be space for every type of worker, every type of industry. You know, a combination of maybe a club or a restaurant with a workspace. You saw in the gym, that makes a lot of sense because think about it. You know, the slowest time for the gym is during the day. So I think people are, you know, people in industries are going to take other industries such as the, you know, health club industry. They're going to look at their space and say, gosh, what's our utilization? And we're not using it during the day, so how do we convert it to something else? So I think that just the concept of using space more efficiently is it's a trend that's not going away. I do think, I mean, when you say our industry, I think there's still a lot of people that find the value in what we do and how we're set up. And I think in 5 years, but I think there's going to be a lot more competition. And I think everyone has to look at their operations really seriously and think, okay, what is my sort of defining concept and what is my differentiation and what am I doing distinctly differently than everybody else? Because just, you know, your space looking like everybody else's and being operated the same way is not going to work, I think.
I think that's also a really good point to say. You have that opportunity. Everybody knows the great unnamed here this afternoon. Their spaces all still look alike. And even though they're branching out into some bigger spaces and trying to attract the co-working, I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to move. They're a behemoth. And do the things that we can do pretty quickly. And distinguish ourselves that way because they are selling the cookie cutter. You know, what you get in Chicago looks like what you get in London. I think this is wide open.
It also comes down to the service level, and you kept hearing it time and time again today, you know, from John in terms of the hospitality component, you know, and every company, every worker is going to be looking for that. So I think that's really where the rubber meets the road, and I think that's what's going to be most important as well.
Just a couple of comments, because I attended Juicy this year. One of the interesting things about their keynote was, the gentleman's with, he does a lot of networking with C-level executives and connects them together. And his whole point was, to the co-working community, we're in the hospitality industry. And I just sort of shook my head and said, well, of course we are. We've been in the hospitality industry since day one, and we get it. So it was very interesting to have that perspective that needed to come out in the conversation and pointed out to that particular audience. So it was very interesting from that standpoint. One of the other things I wanted to add about Brooklyn Boulders coming to Chicago is